the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hello, my name is Dominique McGee, and you are tuning into Business Story of the Week.
Fantastic. And that is a lovely Dominique McGee. She will be joining us today. She's our guest for this episode. And of course, I am your host, Joshua, your host for every episode, every week, every day. We start off with a question. And the question for today is, how can personal growth be the most powerful tool to break the chains of trauma and adversity? Well, Dominique is the perfect guest to answer that question today. Dominique is the extraordinary Dominique McGee is an anti-human trafficking survivor, leader, founder of Breaking Chains nonprofit organization. She helps youth at-risk youth in marginalized communities, and as a human trafficking survivor leader advocate herself, she also advocates for personal and professional development. Dominic is passionate about helping individuals overcoming adversity. She's also a rising actress and model, and of course, she exemplifies the transformation from pain to purpose. Dominic, thank you for coming on the show today. How are you doing?
I am doing well, and thank you for having me, Joshua. Thank you for having me.
Dominic, I'm quite excited with our episode, and of course, it's a very important topic to talk about, but not an easy one is that. Dominic, I always start off with the origin story, and of course, you wouldn't be here today if it weren't for your bravery, if it weren't for your courage to tell your story that allows others to tell theirs as well. Dominic, talk to us about what was the what was the journey like? What was the adversity like? What did you have to overcome?
Well, my journey started out I was a human trafficking victim. At very young, I didn't have a support system. I came from Atlantic City, New Jersey. So I was trafficked from Atlantic City, New Jersey to New York to Miami. And in this, you're taken away from everything you know. You don't know if you're going to make it. You're forced to live in a way that's against your moral code. And your life is in danger every day. So it was either I'm going to die here or I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to get out. And after a long length of time and losing many individuals out there that were with me, I had the courage to get out, to run away, to get home. And as I got home, my family had already had a decision of what happened. Even though I couldn't have made a decision to become a child prostitute, that doesn't make sense. No one went to looking for me, so I couldn't really say I was supposed to do this, I was supposed to do that. So I was taken with a whole bunch of trauma. Now that means high school's gone. That means I can't fly. Yeah, this is right around the time where I'm supposed to be going to high school. So I don't know how to balance in life. I don't have a solid support system. So I'm going from to and fro trying to find myself. So from Jersey, I went back to Georgia where I had family, thinking, okay, maybe this is the support system. That was myself. So yeah, it was crazy at the time. I may speak of it now because it's a testimony to me now.
Yes,
but it was a very dark, painful time for me. Because I didn't have documentation of who I was. I didn't have a support for anyone in my family to help me go get a birth certificate. Go get the things that would help me catapult into my best self. Go back to school, learn things. And at this time, I'm a mother.
Yes.
A young mother. So now I'm sitting here like, how do I become something I never had?
Yes.
How do I provide for a child? How does this happen? And for me, it was taking what I learned in that life and becoming autonomous, which meaning I'm doing this, I had to go back into the club life to take care of my child. It wasn't until at least 10, 15 years later when I got out. And
Wow.
when I got out, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yes, of
I
course.
didn't have my original birth certificate, but my resilience is what helped. I looked up other forms of government ID.
Yes, of course.
And down south, they have a photo voter registration ID.
Yes. Well,
And if you have the photo registration ID, you can use that to get employment.
Okay.
I became one of my first jobs was in a distribution center. Now, this was the time of my life where I'm like, I'm resilient. I'm getting out. I can't live this life anymore. I'm a mother. But also, I've never worked. I've never had a real job or a real opportunity, but this opportunity was presented.
Of course.
So I took that voter's registration ID. I got hired on the spot.
Okay.
So
Wow.
now I'm learning amazing skills that I never knew. One, that I could do.
Okay.
Two, that were possible for me.
Yes.
So I'm breaking barriers now within my own life. Like, whoa, I don't have to live that life. Well, that's not who I really am. And what I believe about myself is true. I'm
Yes.
better than that. I'm greater than that. And I can be a great society member. I can be a great mother.
Of course.
And but the only thing about it was the company wasn't trauma informed.
I see.
I became the best, hardest worker within the first year. I was on the travel team. Like, I think when they gave me you're just now over your 90 days. You want to join the travel team?
Yeah.
I
Let's do it.
was vetted with so much opportunity. I was like, whoa, it was exciting. I worked harder than everybody around me. But at the same time, I was breaking down. I was crying like sporadically. I was going through things that my supervisor didn't know what to deal with. They were like, she's our greatest worker, but she's sitting there crying. She's our greatest worker, but nobody wants to go in there. She's like a lion in the den. Like, how do we approach that? And once I ever got into the position to say, this is what's wrong with me. This is what happened. This is what I'm going through. They weren't ready for that.
Nobody could have been ready for that. I mean,
They were like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. You want a couple of days off? If that's
You just threw the month off.
They weren't prepared.
Right.
For how to help, how to make it better. And it wasn't until I actually moved from Georgia to Texas. I was like, I want to be a big supervisor in the company. So I'm going to give you this. Like, it was kind of hard from the transition. The transition was a little tough. Texas is a lot bigger than the small town in Georgia I came from. Houston was even like, what am I doing here? And I saw myself growing in the company, but I saw myself still not dealing with the trauma. I still didn't have this support system. I still didn't know like how to deal. So I ended up getting fired due to a half a point. But at that time, I met the anti-human trafficking movement.
That's it. Wow.
I was introduced to a whole world of I wasn't alone. There were people on so many different levels that were just like me. And you have a powerful story, you have a powerful testimony. And in this, I learned the purpose in my pain.
Yes.
Okay, then there is a support system. There is a way to work through this. There is a way to do it. And it didn't just get better. The day I got connected with the anti-trafficking movement, I had 3 children right now. I'm in my 30s, still don't have access to my documents. And my oldest son gets shot the very same day.
My goodness. Come on.
I'm like, yes, like it cannot get any worse, right? I'm telling you. And you know what? It was a turning point.
Okay.
That needed to happen for me.
Right.
For them. So we lose everything while he's in the hospital fighting for his life. I lost my place. I had to go into the shelter. And this is the place where, it usually breaks people. I lost everything. I don't know what to do. But I got connected to resources that would help me get my documentation. That lawyer had to search high and low through the northern states to even identify me. And she's like, it's almost like you don't exist because I came from the system.
I see.
But she did. And when she presented me with the documentation of who I was, I felt already. I'm like, okay, I graduated from school in the shelter. I went on multiple platforms telling my story to aid others. I met so many different wonderful survivors.
Right, right,
And I
right.
was like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this is great. But how is it going to make me better?
Yes, of course.
So in this, I was like, I need to be in a trauma-informed place. I need to develop on my emotions personally. I need to have a place where I can grow out of how I'm feeling, what is going on inside me. So that is the birth of Breaking Chains.
That's it. That's
Personal
it.
growth was the foundation of everything. I was at the bottom. I didn't have anything. And I'm looking at everybody around me. And I'm still an influence to everybody. But they don't know I'm at my worst. So in this, I took the stages of emotional intelligence, safety and security, coming back from trauma and abuse. And that's what I built the beginning stages of my organization, Breaking Chains, on. And
That's it.
then I'm going to say, now it has to be professional development because I don't want to just work at any job. I want to be taken serious. I want to be accepted. I want a career. So whether that means training or educational development or advancements or certifications, whatever that looks like,
Of
I
course.
had to figure it out. And by the time I figured it out for myself, I had a whole book of this is how you do it. I mean,
Absolutely.
a whole well written out plan. This is how you do it. And then I created trauma informed booklets for workplaces to go in and I would speak to different people like, you have to support the community you operate in.
Of course. Of course.
We don't know, however, like who we're hiring or what level of life they're on. So we really don't know what we're going to come against when our best worker is going through something. That it may be alcoholism. It may be some really harsh days at work. They may be busy days at work, and you're going to lose your best worker because you're not trauma informed. And I ended up building all of this to not just aid myself, but other survivors in their own personal growth, professional development, and to help other businesses when it comes to operating in different communities. It was a rough, believe me, a severely rough path. Even though I'm smiling today, it was rough.
Dominique is an understatement. Which is story, by the way, rough is a massive understatement. I mean, where you came from, you had to overcome the adversity that you've had to overcome. Never ended. It seems like it's never ending. I mean, that's how life is. But you really started from a very dire situation that most people cannot even imagine. I can't possibly imagine what it took to overcome that and overcome even more because you started. If we all start from square one, square two, you probably started as -1 or -10. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable mountain that you climbed. But now what you've done is like you've healed yourself and you're helping others heal themselves as well, who's gone through the same experiences, who's had to overcome the same adversity. Dominic,
Yes.
before we really start getting into breaking chains and what you do there, talk to me about the healing aspect of it all. Dominic, if life or if healing from trauma was like rebuilding a house, because you've had to rebuild a lot of things in your life. If
Yes.
healing from trauma was like rebuilding a house, what are the key pillars would you say are essential for rebuilding a strong foundation?
Okay, yes, very much so. The foundation of your ideologies and what you believe about yourself has to change. But number one is acknowledging that you have been hurt, you have been through trauma. Because a lot of us try to be so tough and we don't want people to know or we don't want to show it,
Yes.
but not realizing it comes out in different areas.
Because of course there's always shame behind it, and that's why you
Yes.
were constantly breaking down in the break room. It was for a different type of break, but you were breaking down there. I mean,
Down,
that's
like
because
just crying crazy. And it's like I'm doing something good, but there's something else in there that's hurting me. And it's acknowledgement. And then give yourself the grace and space to forgive yourself.
that's it. That's it. That's
You
it.
are not what happened to you. It is not your fault that there are some very corrupt, very bad people in this world. No matter if there are family members, no matter if there's somebody we met, because trafficking looks different for everyone.
Yes, of course.
There's many different forms of trafficking. But coming to the terms with, hey, it's not my fault. I didn't do this to myself. So I will not allow it to continue to hold me down in a place of despair, in a place of resentment. So now you're going to have to rebuild self-love, self-rediscovery. Who am I? What do I really want in this world?
Yes.
What am I going to bring out of myself? And working on yourself with a strong support system. And it's getting connected to those who understand, who believe in you, who are not judging you, so you can let it out, so you can take some of the brakes off and rebuild on your best self. A lot of us carry trauma around so deep rooted that we can't speak about it. I grew up in a house where what happens in this house stays in this house. That's why I'm so adamant about laying the bricks of, hey, you don't have to live like that. It's not your fault. You don't have to own something that you didn't ask for. You can leave it there and pick up the pieces. So for all of your broken pieces, you can decide how to put them back together.
I love that. I love it. I love that, Dominique. And of course, what you said, the foundations, of course, forgiving yourself.
Yes.
Self-love is so important because it's
Yes.
not your fault. I think that's the main part. That starts the healing process, but also
Yes.
allows you to give you a foundation to stand upon. Of course, Dominique, what you founded today is Breaking Change. Change with the K, by the way. Dominic talked to us about the inspiration behind the name, why the K and why the Z and why Breaking
Okay,
Change.
well, because I do operate in marginalized communities, I come from Atlantic City, and I was like, when I was trying to get all the paperwork for it, I kept getting denied because Breaking Change was taken. So I sat down with a friend, and she was like, well, why don't you use Ebonics? Drop the C, add the K, and the Z, and it's still Breaking Change. And I was like, that's not how everybody's going to perceive it. You know that, right? So mostly I end up having to tell people the K is kind of silent, but it's like a sense like
Okay, and so that's fair.
because
That's
we're breaking
creative.
generational chains. We're breaking bonds and yokes. We're breaking whatever's keeping us down. So every time I say breaking chains, I know it's something personal to me. It's going to mean in the end of the journey of the person I'm working with. It's going to mean so much to them.
Breaking change, we're breaking generational change, we're breaking generational trauma. Of course, like you said, how we started off the show, personal development is the key to not only healing from trauma, but also thriving from trauma, having a great life. The website is Breaking Chains in Chains Inc. Talk to us a little bit more about what you do at Breaking Change. What can we find when our audience and listeners visit your website?
Well, when you can also connect with me as a speaker or for trauma-informed information for your company or business. You can connect with me for support groups. If I'm not in your regular area, I'm connected with organizations that might fit you better. For connection resource, educational advancement, and personal growth and professional development classes. I'm working on building the Let's Thrive Center, which will operate virtually so I can reach further and just be able to help people, not just in this area that's just coming in, as well as for at-risk youth or building future leaders. Because let's be honest, the future isn't ours; it's theirs. So teaching them to work on trauma, to work on things that need to be taken care of before they grow. Because as you know, the trajectory of our world is kind of changing harshly and fastly. And we're looking like, how do we get a hold of it? And it's about taking hold of the youth and planting the right seeds within them to believe, to overcome, to discover who they are and what they have to offer this world, and give them the tools.
Yes,
So
of
really,
course.
I'm the centerpiece to the Bridge to Betterment. So when you
I
come to
love
Break
that.
and Change website, you will be looking at either you want resources or you want to be a part of the Bridge to Betterment, because we're coming to everyone's city.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Of course, make sure to go visit that website, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a friend or a family who you know this episode might resonate with, make sure to share it to them. Make sure to lead them to the direction of Dominique, because Dominique she's gonna help you out. But not only that, she's gonna help everyone thrive and overcome all those adversities and grow. It's not just about healing, but also growth, and that is what we can find what Dominic offers at Breaking Change. Dominic, you are doing a noble work. And of course, healing from your trauma and healing really from your adversity is already divine work to move
Yes.
past that. Dominic, one last thing, one last bit of wisdom that you would love to leave behind the audience, what would it be? Take us home.
One thing I really want to reiterate is it doesn't matter when it happened or how it happened. You are not what happened to you.
That's it.
You have the power within yourself to pick up the pieces to a better life. Whatever you get right, it's on your terms. You don't have to look at all your shattered pieces and pick up those painful and hurtful pieces and continue to add them in. But you can use them as a purpose to catapult
That's
you
it.
into your best self instead of
That's
keeping
it.
you down. Obstacles are made to prevent and stop us from further progress. My question is, will you allow it to?
That's it. Yeah, that's the question. Are you going to allow it to Are you going to allow it to weigh you down, or are you going to use it to catapult yourself? Because Dominic, I mean, we could all sit here and be sorry for ourselves, and you surely have every right to do that with what you've gone through. But you've shown that you truly are the queen of pain to purpose.
Yes.
Dominic, where else can we connect with you? Where else can we learn more?
You can learn more at breakingchangeinc.org, as also I am on LinkedIn. I am on all social media platforms as Dominique McGee.
All right.
And I will look forward to hearing from you all.
Fantastic. Of course, for all our audience and listeners, go check out Dominique. Make sure to let her know that you found her here on this episode. And thank you for watching, everybody. Dominique, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Joshua, for having me for Business Story of the Week.
Fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.